Hi everybody, welcome back to the FargoForce Show. Our guest this week, and it's a special one, is Cody Haiskanen, defenseman for the FargoForce. You are the first Fargo native to ever play for the FargoForce. What an honor. How do you feel about being that guy?
For sure, it's been awesome so far. Definitely gotten a little bit of crap from the guys on the team, but it's been fun this year for sure.
Now you're a defenseman, as we said. You went to Fargo Davies High School. Mm-hmm. Interesting story with you. I mean, you weren't a guy that was, highly, with a bunch of accolades in high school or whatever. You blew out your knee before your senior year of high school, right?
Yep.
And so kind of went maybe a little bit under the radar, but here you are playing for the Force. 4 goals, 16 assists through this season so far. Is that some inspiration, I mean, for some of the other guys that watch the show or that are big Force fans that say, you know what, you don't have to be this all-state forward necessarily to go on and play at a high level. You're playing with the Force now. You've committed to Cornell University for next year, right?
Yep. You don't always have to be the top player at each level. Just trust the process, keep getting better each year. And I think I did that and turned out well for me, so
now,
that'd be my advice.
Growing up, too, you said hockey was always your main one, and your dad played some Division III hockey.
Correct.
But what was another impetus in your kind of hockey? I know your family, you said your family had hosted some Force guys over the years, too. How did that play into your maybe desire to want to get better and want to kind of keep excelling in hockey?
Yeah, for sure. So we watched them ever since they started. And
you've had season tickets, your family, since the beginning of the Force?
Yep, correct. And just fell in love with that. They started out very successful the first couple of years. They made the Card Cup run, and just the atmosphere and that kind of just fell in love with that and knew I wanted to chase after that.
How did it impact you having being a billet family for a few Force players over the years?
Yeah, it was nice. Kind of gained a new brother there. We still keep in touch. He's playing college hockey still, and just kind of showed me the ways of what it's like.
Now the Force right now, as we sit, are 27, 15, and 3 in 4th place in the USHL's Western Conference. Tell me about this season, your first and only one with the Force here, but how much fun has this been to be right in the thick of the playoffs? You guys are having a great season. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously, USHL is a very tough competitive league. You have to show up every night, but I love going to work with the guys every day and showing up at the rink, getting laughs with them and it's been great so far.
What are your strengths as a defenseman? What do you feel like you really kind of bring to the table night after night?
I think my strengths would have to be my puck moving abilities, just getting that first pass off, my vision with the puck, great stick, positionally sound.
All right, well, since our last show, the Force have played a bunch of games, and they've been playing well, but it's a good thing because the teams above them in the Western Conference standings have been playing very well as well. So let's get you caught up a little bit. Friday, February 10th, the Force hosted the Green Bay Gamblers for the first of 2. This game was about as close as you could ever get watching. You'll understand both goalies stellar. Fargo's Matt Murray stopped 31 shots. His counterpart David Rennick, equally as good, stopped 25. Got a little help from Connor Mackey on this one. Inches from a goal there. Scoreless into the third period now with Green Bay when Green Bay's Nolan Moyle, the rebound goal. Watch again how close Murray is to saving this with his skate, about 1 inch from this. We said it was a game of inches. This game was close. Look at that. Deflects in. 1-0 Gamblers late in the third. Force one last good chance, but again on the wrong side of an inch and a skate. Jack Adams' shot saved by the tip of Rennick's skate blade, and the agonizingly close loss for the Force, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Green Bay wins it 1-0. Rennick stopped all 25 Force shots. Just the second time the Force have been shut out this season. The last time was September 30th. That was the second game of the season. But the Force had a chance for a little revenge the next night against the Gamblers. On the face-off, Green Bay's Easton Brodzinski with the quick strike tally, and the Gamblers led 1-0. In period number 2 now, Fargo's Cristiano Versic waits, then finds Lucas Kalblay for the wicked one-timer, his 4th of the season. 1-1 right there. 3 minutes later, though, tic-tac-toe, Grant Meyer to Versic, and he finishes it off with a pretty goal right there, his 4th of the season. 2-1 Force heading to the third. And it was former Force Brody Stevens who came up with a huge goal unassisted at the 17-14 mark of the third. Right there, we'd go to overtime, then a shootout where the Force were 3-0 this season. Round 1, Jack Adams is stopped by Rennick. We're scoreless after 1 round of the shootout. In round 2, Green Bay scores, the Force do not. So after the Gamblers fail in round 3, it's up to Fargo's Hank Crone to continue the game, and he cannot do it. Rennick comes up with the big save just as he did all weekend. Green Bay wins it 3-2 in a shootout. The Force do pick up a single point on the weekend, however, and that could be big. Remember, it came down to a single point at the end of last season. So moving on now to the next weekend, Friday, February 17th versus the Madison Capitals. The Force put the smack down on Madison early. First period, Mark Senin shows great hustle to the puck, managed to control it, and then centers it to a flashing Shane McMahon for his 11th 1-0 Force after a period. In the second, that's where they really took control, did the Force. On the power play, after the initial shot, there's a scrum in front. The puck ends up on the goalie's rear end, and Blake Lizotte finds it and puts it in. His 8th of the season, 2-0 Force there. It was 2-1 in the second when our guest, Cody Haiskanen, fires and Jack Adams redirects it in. That's his 26th of the season, 3-1 Force. After a second Lizotte goal made it 4-1, we headed to period 3 and watched this sweet play. Grant Meyer, the no-look pass behind him to Paul Washy, his 9th, 5-1 Force. And then 2 minutes later, Lizotte cleans up for his 3rd goal of the season, 6-1 or of the game. Hat trick for Lizotte, and the Force win it 7-1. They tied their season high for goals scored and margin of victory. Heiskanen, our guest here, 4 assists, and the Force were also 3 of 4 on the power play. What a tremendous scoring game there, and 4 assists. Have you ever had that many assists in a game before, Cody?
I don't think so, at least not for a long time.
Right spot in the right time, and the guys were cashing in that night?
Yeah, for sure. Just one of those nights, I guess. You just do the same things you want to do every night, just get the pucks in net, and kind of guys found the puck to just bounce in our way, I guess.
All right, next night then, the Force in their purple and pucks jerseys versus Madison. Over $16,000 raised for cancer survivorship, by the way. Second period, you unleash a blast, your 4th of the season for the goal, 1-0 Force. Then I'm after a Madison answer. We'd head to the third, tied at 1. 2 minutes in, the puck comes to McMahon, and he wires home the wrister for his 12th of the season, 2-1 Force. They'd add an empty netter late by Jacob Paganelli, and the Force win it 3-1, sweeping the weekend series with the Capitals. Matt Murray had 24 saves. Ryan Bischel played the last 5 minutes after Murray got a penalty and added 2 more saves. You with 3 assists and your goal in this game were named USHL Defensive Player of the Week, Defenseman of the Week. Ever had an honor like that? What does it mean to you to be the Defenseman of the Week?
No, I don't think I've ever had anything like that, but it's pretty special, to be recognized as Defenseman of the Week. But yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess.
So then the next week in the Force, you guys traveled your longest road trip of the season to Youngstown, Ohio. Friday, February 24th, Youngstown got you in overtime, 2-1, your 3rd overtime loss of the season. Washy with the only goal for the Force. Former Force Austin Pooley, who played 2 seasons in Fargo, got the game-winning goal in overtime. Then the next night, though, you guys bounced back with a 1-goal win, 3-2 over Youngstown. Goals by Adams, his league best 27th. Alfberg, and also Chrome. Bischel had 21 saves in the net for the Force. Tell me about the long road trip to Ohio and getting a much-needed split, especially in that second game. Must have made a little nicer road trip home, I bet.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit of a grind heading there and back, but you got to do it. And these points matter just as much as the ones towards the end of the season. So we knew we needed to play with a little desperation. So it's definitely nice to get that win Saturday night. How
hard is it going to Youngstown on that long trip? Does it feel much different? Is it a little harder to get going? Are you a little maybe more fatigued being on the bus that long? Or talk about that.
Maybe a little bit. We leave a couple days early so we can at least rest in the hotel for one night. So I guess you just have to try to prepare mentally, mental toughness.
All right, well, after those games, let's take a look at the updated USHL's Western Conference standings with about 13 or 14 games left. Everybody above you is red hot. Sioux City still leading. They've won 6 straight and 8 of 10. Waterloo is 13-0-2 in their last 15 games. They're red hot. Then Des Moines, who's ahead of you, 6 straight wins and 8 of 10. You guys are playing well. You're 6-2-1-1 in your last 10, but tough to keep up with those guys. You're still in the all-important 4th and final playoff spot there. And Lincoln right on your heels, 3 points back of you with 55 points. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, obviously a lot of good, great teams up there. It's hard to catch them when they keep winning like that. But so we just got to keep playing with our desperation level and treat every weekend now like a playoff game almost.
Do you feel disheartened at all knowing that those other teams are playing so well? Or do you guys kind of just worry about yourself knowing that, hey, we're playing pretty good too. We're not going to worry about anybody else. We just got to kind of control what we can control.
I mean, I guess we keep an eye on it for sure, but same time, you just got to keep to yourself and just keep working hard, do the things you guys do. So I think if we keep doing that, we'll be fine.
All right, and as we saw, Lincoln was 3 points behind you guys for that 4th and final playoff spot. But just for a little note, you guys won the season series with Lincoln 3-2, so you would have a head-to-head with the Stars if needed. So then the upcoming schedule for the next 2 weeks for the Force looks like this. Next weekend, you're on the road at Tri-City, March 3rd and March 4th. Tri-City struggling right now. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. And then you come home the following weekend to a little bit of a different weekend. You play Friday night against Cedar Rapids. They're the last place team in the Eastern Conference, only 9 wins. and then you don't play Saturday, you play Sunday instead. Take a note on that game time there, 5:05 Sunday against rival Sioux Falls, who's always tough, but they're the last place team in the Western Conference and struggling a little bit as well. They're winless in their last 10 games. So you guys got a great chance. You're playing teams that maybe aren't playing so well right now. Got to take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Can't under-prepare for them or look past them by any means. So we got to show up and play just like any other night. Keep it simple, and I think we'll really get the job done.
Is that something that maybe the media or fans make more of? Is, hey, you know what, looking past an opponent maybe, or do you guys kind of prepare and you only get 1 or 2 times to play a week? Do you guys look at it any different whether you're playing the first place team or the last place team in the league?
No, not at all. Every game counts the same, so we just prepare the same way we do every week, whether it's first place Sioux City or a team like Tri-City that's struggling.
All right, how much fun has this season been, being a Fargo kid, playing on a great team, into the playoff run? We're down to the final, and this has got to be almost a dream come true, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you play for sure. So I've had a blast.
All right, Cody Haiskanen, FargoForce defenseman from Fargo Davies High School, having a great run with the FargoForce this season. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the FargoForce Show.